Broadcast settings really checking.
Okay, alright, we're done with that.
Yeah, you're right because I stopped.
Thanks, we appreciate that. Alright, welcome back, gamers, to the Experience Players Podcast, and today's date is June 25th, 2025. And on tonight's episode, we are going to chat about those lovely aha moments in gaming. And we do love those aha moments. And tonight I'm joined by Blackout, aka the broadcast opera singer.
4 letters, 1 word.
No yeet. Damn it. Pain in my ass. Alright, so this is one of our lazy man episodes. We're just recording / supposed to be broadcasting from the PS5. I didn't feel like doing anything else tonight. And I'm playing one of those games that gave me a great aha moment. And it's the Expedition 33. Actually, it's New Game Plus for Expedition 33. But Jones, I'll let you go ahead and get started with one of your aha moments in gaming over the years, because we have been gaming since, what, the late 80s?
The 80s, yes.
What's one of yours?
Okay, one of the first ones that I can think of, I'm not sure if it's the very first, one of the first ones I can think of is Dragon Warrior. So look, I got the game, I didn't mean to get the game, I was trying to get something else, but my mom got me Dragon Warrior. And so look, the first couple of months, I couldn't get out the first room because I didn't understand how menus worked. So it's like, I was trapped in this damn throne room. I'm like, what is happening? I want to play the game. I want to do some stuff. And so I don't know. I going into the years into the future when I played other RPGs and stuff. I finally went back to try. I thought, okay, look, I can play Dragon Warrior. So I went back. I opened the menu. I was like, wait, talk, use. I was like, what? So you go over the stairs and then you go to open the menu. It was definitely convoluted because you think if you just walk on top of the stairs it's gonna work, but no. So you had to go onto the stairs. Then you had to open the menu and then go down to stairs or walk or use or whatever, and then it's mind blown. And then I got it started.
Good old RPGs. Good lord. I hated those old school systems where you had to literally interact with every single little thing.
Yeah.
That was a pain in the ass. I never liked those systems.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it was way back in the NES, early NES, but still, come on, Legend of Zelda didn't have that. You see some damn stairs, you go down the stairs. Why you gotta do that with Dragon Warrior?
Going up the stairs ain't going down the stairs, ain't going up the sideways stairs.
Yes.
One of mine is from Mario 64, and I remember I literally. When just the very beginning of the game, when he popped out that damn pipe, and you just stood there and you could move the camera, and even though free camera now, free control camera like this is just above and beyond, and it's also the norm now, but back then, even as janky as it was,
it was janky
because it moved and then if you'd stop moving it, it would move back by itself nice and slow. Which was always a pain in the butt. But yeah, just realizing what 3D gaming was in that damn game was just mind blowing. It took me a minute. I must have spent 45 minutes to an hour outside just running in circles and jumping, and then learning how to do a double jump, and then I don't think I learned the triple jump for quite a while, but then using the Z button to crouch, you know what I mean, and then accidentally moving forward and crawling. I was I'm a Mario baby now.
Wow.
It was so satisfying. It's this is what 3D is. This is insane, because to us at that point in time, 3D was basically Tekken-ish.
I was going to say Battle Arena Toshin then, but yeah.
And yeah, because it knows you can move in the foreground and the background, right?
Well, no, just straight up, Battle Arena told you then it was like 3D issue. You had like the camera, but you didn't have control over the camera. But yeah, like so, like you know, you could. I think if you press down, you would like move forward or backwards, like. But you had that roll that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
But it was 3D, but it was. It didn't give you the same control.
Shit. Alright, I'm gonna have you go ahead and do your next one because I'm about to do this fight, and it's been a while since I fought, and I have to concentrate. So go ahead and do your next one.
Okay, so my next one is I should say fighting games in general, but we're gonna say Street Fighter 2 because look, I struggled so bad when people jump. Like I didn't understand how you were supposed to fight back when somebody jumps at you. Like I was in the arcade, like I was getting my butt whooped, and then I saw people like doing the short. I couldn't even comprehend that yet. I was just like really early on in my fighting game days. But then it's like I learned that if you crunch and then hit the heavy button, you do an uppercut. So I was like mind blown. Like I think I still lost because I was fighting against a Vega, but man, I was like, oh my god! So if I crunch and press the uppercut, I can do an uppercut. Like I can finally fight against people who jump. I was so proud of myself.
That's funny. Well, I'm actually with you on that one too because I had the same experience. Like I didn't know I could do it until I saw somebody do it. Like it was at the 7-Eleven that I used to go and watch people play, and I would go there almost every day after school just to watch people play this damn game.
Yep.
And I never saw anybody do it for the longest time.
Yep.
I finally saw somebody do it. I'm like, that's what you do.
I'm like, man, you can tell that was the beginning of my fighting game history because
That's
I didn't know
hilarious.
jack. I was such a novice. And then from there, I feel like that is what pretty much like kind of propelled me. Like, okay, I want to start getting good. Then I learned how to do the fireball on the left side. But I couldn't do it on the right side. But you know, you have to make
Dude, it
progress.
took me days to learn how to freaking do a fireball. It was crazy. And then
Yep.
even more time was the freaking uppercut, the dragon
The
uppercut.
Shoryuken probably took me like months. Like I could pull. For some reason, I could do the Shoryuken on the second side. I play at two side. I could do it on play on one side, which is really weird.
Yes, the opposite way took a lot more work and a lot more practice to get. That's why I still to this day can't stand fighting on the specific side. Let's see, it's got to be on the left side. Pain in the
If I
ass.
want to beat you, just make sure I'm on the left side. Gotcha.
Nobody asked you, Patrice. Damn it. Where the hell did that monster go? He used to be up there. Well, I know this fight is not coming up. I cannot do this fight live. Shit.
But yeah, like you'll be okay. But like I said, yeah, I pretty much like after experiencing that was just like the first aha moment that kind of just got me to like where I'm starting to learn how things work, basically how the flow of a fighting game actually goes, and like I'm where I am today, Street Fighter professional. Well, I won't say I'm a professional, but I think I can handle myself in a Street Fighter match. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you could definitely handle yourself in a Street Fighter match. Those pros be out there. They're making millions. They be counting iframes and everything. Anybody got time for that?
Dude, I know. Like, how you gonna be like pixel perfect? You gotta get the freaking crossover at the exact moment, and it's like, no. But they be amazing because like that damn those Zangief users. I just look at it like, what if I see it? Like, they know how to basically hit you, like, whether you block or not, they're close enough to do an input grab, which doesn't look like it's close enough, but they're like, they got you.
And funny enough, I don't know if he did it on accident or on purpose, but Juan used to hit that on me all the time. Like I would be Ken, of course, and then I would come down from the Super Dragon uppercut, and I would land. I thought far enough away from him to be okay, but nope, he always caught me, and it seemed like I was far enough, but I never was. It used to make me so mad.
Yep, those input grabs are just terrible, man. Just terrible.
Pain in the ass. Another one for me is a game that you recently got into, and I'll let you talk about yours afterwards. But Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World was I heard about it, but it didn't interest me in the slightest. Like I had zero interest in Monster Hunter. But then this guy I work with, he got me into it, and he said just play it for a couple hours, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So then I like the first probably 30 minutes, you make your character, you go through tutorial, you see the cutscene, and then you go into your first like open world, and you walk past, you crouch down into the thicket, and then it opens up, and then you just see these monsters, and monsters with babies, and they're eating, and they're tracking prey, and then you can see the footsteps of the other monsters flying across the sky, and I literally sat there for like maybe 25 minutes, no exaggeration, just watching the world interact. Because in most games, you're used to, them having like a specific pattern. And this was the first game in a long time that I can remember them not having a pattern like that. Like, there was never a time where they had like reset and went back to the way they were before. They actually walked around and they drank water and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be amazing. Like, this is going to be crazy fun. So then when I finally started playing and I finally started learning how to actually hunt, you got to track the Monster Hunter World. You got to find the footprints. You got to get the little hairs that are over here. You got to collect the poop. And then once you do that, and then you can like track the monster down. And then that's where the real actual fun begins. You get to actually hunt this thing down. You get to see its patterns. You get to see its moves. So it's just like, dodge, parry, got it. Ooh, I didn't lose it. I still got the skills. Nice. But just that aha moment of what this like cycle is going to be like playing this game. And then when you finally kill your first monster, like the exhilaration of doing it, because the Monster Hunter World, those monsters ain't no joke. Like even from the very, very start, when you're a novice and you fight that first monster, even though it's a scrub, but that first monster ain't no joke. It's just like the first time you fought a Chatacabra. You know what I mean? Even though he's a scrub now to you, and you can probably take him out with one hand tied behind your back. When you first fought him, he gave you trouble.
Oh yeah, knocking you around, roughing you up.
And you had to learn his movements, his patterns, and his weaknesses and stuff like that. And in most Monster Hunter games, like that stuff doesn't come right away. Like, the more you track the monster, the more you fight the monster, the more you collect things, pieces and parts from the monster, the more you get into your hunter notes. And also, too, again, the thing I miss about Monster Hunter World is the fact that when you capture them, you can see them captured back at the hub, and you can see like people studying them. And I really wish that they would put that or bring that back in Monster Hunter Wilds, because that just made the experience so much more awesome for me.
And I'm sure you find Alma in there all the time if that was the case.
Exactly. But I do love that they have that for her, like how she comes up, like after you defeat the monster on her sacred, and she studies the thing. That's awesome. That's awesome right there. So what was your aha moment with Wilds?
Well, for me, it's definitely learning how to properly fight, because at first I had a little experience with Worlds and Rise, and it's like I always felt like I was an inadequate fighter. Like I felt like I was just going through the motions, but I just felt like I wasn't doing it right, like I was missing something. So at first I kind of felt the same way in Wilds, because it's like I'm managing to do okay, but I just feel like I'm just not good enough or something like that. But then like just playing through the game for a while, I won't really say I felt like I was all that good when I was beating the game, but like after I beat the game and started doing some in-game and actually like started just playing on my own and doing some hunting, then when I actually saw that I was actually effectively killing these things, I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm finally starting to get it, starting to click, like how to properly dodge and everything, and I didn't feel like I was doing everything wrong, because the monster was definitely saying ouch.
Awesome. Oh shit. See, I knew that was coming and it still scared me. Damn it. I love this game. I miss this game. Yeah, so same thing for me. Like, I played alone in Worlds almost the entire game. I didn't do any hunts because I felt like you. I felt like I wasn't like really good enough to hunt along other people. I didn't want to be a burden to other people. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
To other hunters. But then in Rise, when you get more mobility and you basically just get to run around on not your sacred but on your palamutes and whatnot. It's so helpful and it was so freeing and it gave me the courage to hunt with other players. Even though I still wasn't the best by the end of Rise, I had a decent grasp on the game. And it was a hell of a lot of fun. Like that was my second aha moment. Like I can hunt with other people, and I can still have a great time and not feel like I'm a burden on them.
Hmm.
So that was my second Monster Hunter aha moment, but that came in Rise. So I put like 90 hours, 9,900 hours in World, and I put well over 200 hours in Rise for sure. And now I got 300 plus hours in Worlds. I'm definitely going to put in more because the update's coming. I think by next week. I think tomorrow is going to be a Capcom showcase, telling what's coming in the update, and then the update's going to come probably next Tuesday. I would assume.
Birds are twitching. Rain, the weather's changing. Oh.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff they fixed for sure, which makes me happy. There we go. It's the move I want to hit. Boom! Elemental Genesis. Peace out, everybody. They gone. What's your next one?
Well, in general, I would say it has to do with first-person shooters, but we'll go specifically with GoldenEye. When I learned how to strafe, because look, when you're playing a game like that, you need mobility and stuff, and so it's like, running in a straight line and trying to turn and do that stuff, it's like, you be getting shot
That's
up a lot.
fine.
But once I learned about strafing, it was like a whole other game. Now in GoldenEye, you look like you're having a damn seizure when you're running, but it don't matter. Doing that little freaking sideways run, it was amazing. And it was like, wow, you could dodge so many shots that way. It made like, like something like the Golden Gun, where that thing is hard as hell to do anything because you get shot. No, you do that little strafe. Running with that seizure look, nah, they ain't gonna do nothing to you, boy. And then that just carries on in all the other games you play. So it's just
And we will never forget the spinning, ducking golden gun one kill shot that I did on you.
dude.
Poor baby. That was pretty awesome. Eric was chasing me down like this corridor. He was like, I'm gonna get you. And I turned around, I ducked down, and I shot him like right in the stomach with the golden gun. It was hilarious. Oop, I'm going backwards. Going the wrong way. One of my next ones is from Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, one of probably, well, definitely one of the greatest Zelda games ever made. But the fact, okay, so when it comes to Zelda games, like my experience was the old school Zelda ones. Okay, I didn't
overhead 16 or 8-bit ones.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite up until Breath of the Wild was still Part 2 for the NES.
Wait, that one? Why?
Okay, hold on. Don't judge me. So the chick that's in the town, the one that you got to chase around, the one that has the boobs sticking out.
And the things, yeah, okay.
I spent so much time chasing her down and like trying to find the secret to get her to come out of her house.
Oh wow!
But also too like of course we talked about this before, but back in the day, like games like that's the only game that you had, so you spent a lot of time playing those games. You know what I mean? And a lot of those games, like they hold dear to me because you spend like literally weeks and weeks, and that's the only game you played, forever in a day. and just like literally combing over every single inch and every single piece of
Yeah,
these
that's what
damn
she
games.
said.
You're stupid. It sticks in your memory as one of your core memories as a gamer. And the challenge of those dungeons was amazing. Very, very difficult. And there were some things that I still didn't find. But anyway, that's besides the point. So back to Breath of the Wild. Like my main aha moment is when I first went to the snow area. Like there's a mission where you have to climb this mountain here, get to the top, and I kept running across these plants that had like peppers on them. So I'm like, okay, they got peppers here. That's fine. I guess it must be just a food to cook or whatever for later to give you some life or whatever. And then I noticed that the temperature gauge went all the way to freezing or frozen or whatever. And then my life started going down. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? So then I did, because it's the beginning of the game, and I didn't have clothes. So I actually spent a good two.
Oh,
I actually spent a good 2 hours scouting the area to try to find some clothes. And I found some clothes somewhere, but it didn't do anything to combat the freaking the cold. So accidentally, I lit a torch and I was running through, and the gauge didn't move. And I put my controller down. I said, "You have got to be kidding me!" Like you literally have to have heat to combat the cold in this game. Now, later on, of course, you get clothes that help with the cold and fight the cold. But you either have to cook one of those hot peppers and eat it to keep you warm, which is very smart, or you have to have a heat source, which is just crazy to me. And from that point on, like the amount of discovery in that game, that just really opened my mind to what that game can do, but what games in general can and should be doing from now on to make older gamers like us, have a great experience. How far have you gotten on Breath of the Wild?
hard to say because, as I've told you, that was one of those games that I did a crap ton of exploring, but I don't think I was doing too much of the main mission. So I can't actually say where I'm at. Like I went through, I'm looking for a whole bunch of shrines. I've been over a lot of parts of the map, but like in terms of the actual story, I don't think I fought any of the great guardians or whatever the hell it is. Like I think I was last time I was playing it, I was finally heading towards one of the villages that have like the guardians or whatever, but no, I have not like done any major boss fights yet.
Major boss fights? Okay.
Or whatever. Yeah, I've definitely not fought any major bosses. No, like I've done temple stuff. Or
no. I was actually doing a callback to How I Met Your Mother, and I'm pretty sure you've seen that episode. But if not, you will get there.
I might have, I haven't watched it as many as you be remember those episodes so well. Like I just mentioned a little bit, and you can like start quoting the words. I'm like, damn, this dude knows.
Dude, I told you, I've watched that show like at least 16 times through. It's literally my favorite show of all time.
I can tell. It's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is hilarious. I'm like season 3, episode 18 or something like that right now.
Oh, you're still in season 3? Okay. Never mind. But
Good Lord.
You will get there eventually. Another one of mine. Okay, I go with this one. Dead Cells. So I started hearing about roguelike games. And I'm like, what the hell is a roguelike? There's rogue. I hear something growling. But I see nothing. I'm scared to move. I started hearing about roguelikes and roguelites. So I'm just confused. I'm like, what the hell is a roguelike? And then it's one of those games that you have to experience. And it's basically one of those games that things are randomly generated. Ooh, there might be a mime down here. Nice. So you go through a stage, it's randomly generated, you fight random enemies, you get power-ups, and then once you start over, because you will die, because that's the whole point, once you start over, you're just a little bit stronger each and every time. So that increase in strength allows you to go further and further and further and further. And I don't like games that like punish you needlessly. those games piss me off, and it's not enjoyable to play at all. But roguelikes are not like that. Like most games that you play to meet that power fantasy. You know what I mean? You start off as a pauper, you start off really weak or whatever, but then eventually you get stronger. You get strong as shit. You can take on fucking dragons and beasts that are as tall as buildings, and that's the whole power fantasy behind it. In roguelikes, like you slowly get stronger, but the discovery in roguelikes is going through each stage and either discovering shortcuts or discovering secrets that you didn't know existed. And then that in turn allows you to get further. So it's not all about strength and power, but it's also about strategy. And that's exactly why those games are so freaking satisfying to play, at least in my opinion. And I've been lucky enough to play a lot of great roguelikes. Dead Cells, Hades, Hollow Knight to a certain extent. It's not really a roguelike, but it has some elements of it. But just games of that nature just really intrigued me. And I actually hurt my hand twice because I played so much.
You hurt your hand on Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I played Hollow Knight so much that I got, it wasn't carpal tunnel, but I think it's called repetitive stress syndrome or something like that. And yeah, that shit just that tore me apart. I was so mad. I mean, I was happy because I actually got to beat the game, but yeah, it wasn't a good look at the end. But yeah, see, if you haven't played a roguelike game, I would definitely encourage you to play, because I think you might actually, out of all people, you would enjoy that challenge.
Probably. I've definitely not played one.
Because those types of games, I can hear you Homer screaming. I can hear you getting pissed off because you missed like one little thing and going back and doing it again.
Pretty accurate.
It makes you very.
I would take a whole run if I thought I missed something.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about roguelikes. Like the runs are usually short. Like in Hades, the great thing about Hades is it has an amazing story behind it. Most roguelikes has an overarching story, and you kind of get through a good chunk of it before you get to see more story. But in Hades, you communicate with the Greek gods. Like each room, a Greek god shows up and gives you another power to use to get through the next room. And those powers were varied and awesome, and man, I cannot wait till part 2 comes to Switch 2.
I thought part 2 came out. Oh, Switch 2. Okay.
Part 2 is on Steam right now, and my Steam Deck. No, thank you.
What about PS5?
One regret purchase. No, it's not there yet, but it is coming.
I got you. So basically, it's just one of those first to PC things.
Mm-hmm. And actually, there goes right there in my face. I actually played Hades 1 on the Switch, and I must have put a good 50, 60 hours into it. And then later on, it came out for PS5 and stuff like that. But it felt great on the Switch, surprisingly. So I can only imagine what part 2 is going to feel like on Switch 2. Oof.
I can actually see that being pretty good. Like I didn't play it directly. I might have touched it for a few seconds with either you or Kevin, but I've seen y'all play it, so I understand what the game's about.
Mm-hmm.
And I can definitely see it being a beautiful game on Switch too.
Yes, because that bad boy. And it's so funny because I love playing the Switch 1 and the OLED more in handheld, but the Switch 2, I just want to play on the screen. I just want to play on the big screen. Mm-hmm. I played a couple of times in handheld. I'm like, this is not 4K in handheld, but it's all right.
Yes.
You're right. Yes, yet. The next one's going to be in a year and a half. Switch 2 OLED 4K Plus Premium Mega Ultra.
Pretty much, and it's going to cost $600.
I'll be there.
Plus tax.
.com. It's a website. All right, you got another one for us?
Yes, okay, so we're going back to the RPG land again. Just like in general, like learning strategies, like I can say this for both Chrono Trigger, but I'm actually going to go one step further and say Final Fantasy because as much as I love Chrono Trigger was a pretty easy RPG to get to understand how to fight things. Like there was very rarely any times that you could like get overly stumped because you know it kind of like explain things to you. But like Final Fantasy 4 or 2, whatever you want to call it out of Super Nintendo, bruh, I got stuck a lot of times because they made you actually think. So it's like, you know, that
Yep.
like this certain boss where it's like you basically just have to use like when you fight Bahamut, basically like Bahamut, like it's not he's not a boss you have to fight, but you know he's like an optional boss to get to summon. So like Bahamut, he uses Mega Flare, and you actually have to have Reflect, or he will just body you because like he'll do his little countdown. And it's like you think you're doing okay, you're doing some damage, but then when he gets to 0, he will annihilate you with Mega Flare. Like it's just like does 9999 damage or whatever your maximum hit points were. So it's like, you know, realizing that you actually have to have Reflect, the spell Reflect, which means you'd have to grind it out or something like that, because I didn't even know that was a spell at first. Like, I was like, how are you supposed to beat this dude? And there's other examples similar to it where, you know, you had to have the right elemental powers to beat something. It was like, you know, you try to fight Leviathan. Like, I tried to fight Leviathan so many times. I could not beat that fool. And I didn't realize, you know, elemental things. Like, you know, we all know that Leviathan's water-based now. But, like, back in the day, I didn't know that. So, you know, I'm just trying to hit it. I'm just, like, you know, trying to beat him down. Then my friend was like, you got to have Lightning 3. I'm like, what? And then I got Lightning 3. I destroyed that dude. Like, you saw the numbers, like, it was bam. I was like, oh. So that's, like, really when I learned how RPG flow works with, like, elements and stuff like that, which is also why Final Fantasy 14 pisses me the hell off, because I'm not supposed to be able to kill Ifrit with fire.
Yeah, and that took me, that's another aha moment for me, which I don't have written down, but I will say it now, because freaking learning that, oh, I found a mime. Okay, I'm gonna wait to fight this thing while I talk. Cause dude, the first time I fought a mime in this game, I got bodied.
Bruh, everybody gets bodied the first time you fight a fucking mime. Dude, I'm like, his ass is first of all, this creepy ass just ran up, dude.
Is that the sound it made?
I think that's the sound it makes. It's like the sound, you know, it makes those weird ass sounds when it starts to attack. Or maybe that was the sound I made when I was shitting myself.
I think that was the sound you made when you shit yourself. Because we all did. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna beat this thing, because it was one of the smaller, like, boy ones. And this one looks this one looks like Asuka, actually, what I'm looking at right now. It looks creepy as hell. I'm actually going to take a picture and send it to you later. This one looks like Asuka. Yeah, it's creepy. But anyway, so back to 14. Yeah, I had to learn the elements did not affect the monsters. Like, because I'm used to playing 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, where all the elements, you know, that was a part of the strategy in the game. But in 14, I remember asking him, like, dude, like, why is this not working? He was like, it don't matter. What? Like, what? Like, what? You gotta be kidding me. It actually made me mad. That was like an aha moment that made me mad.
It's very dumb. It really, dude, that pissed me the hell off. You see, I'm already still upset about this. I remember when I first got this game, like 2013. You know, I was like, oh, we gonna fight Ifrit. They're like, oh, because like I was a black mage, and like you really only have fire, light, fire. Like you had fire, ice, and then you had the electric, thunder. So it's like I'm thinking, fire is my main attack. Like, looks like I'm gonna have to just hit it with ice because you know it's supposed to absorb the fire. I go into that fire like, what the hell? Because you know, ice doesn't do that much damage. Fire is your main like nuking damage. So it's like, I'm like, why can't we beat it? Then I hit it with fire. Like, why did it take more damage from fire? I was just thinking like, why the hell is fire working on this thing?
That was definitely a pain. And then like having monsters like chasing in 14, having monsters chase me for seemingly miles. I was like, please stop chasing me. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm only level 10 right now. I can't do it.
Well, that's a
Please
good
leave
old
me alone.
online aspect. But dude, if you think that was bad, you didn't play 11. Dude, they would literally chase you halfway across an area. No, I'm sorry, not halfway. They would chase you all the way across an area. You would either have to like kill it, die, or zone into a different area because they will chase you.
Poor babies. Yeah, it was one of those scorpion things. I forgot what they're called. That first, not the first dungeon, but one of the dungeons you do with all those skeletons in that area. You have to go into like that little cave area. You know what I'm saying? It's got the bats in there, and
Yeah.
then it's got the giant scorpions on the outside. Yeah, those giant scorpions, they chased the hell out of me for a long time. I'm like, man, you better leave me the hell alone. Okay, I'm doing nothing to this mime right now. Jesus.
See, that's the other thing about those mines. You straight up don't even know if you're gonna win or not. Cause Lord, you have to get perfect counters you gotta parry them bitches perfectly and they gonna wreck you. Especially when they start hitting you like 8 times in a row. Oh god, think of that sound again.
I don't think that's the sound it made, but that's funny.
No, that's the sound that I guess I'm making. I don't know why I'm making that sound, but they kind of make like a little growl sound. I don't know, I might be over exaggerating, but jeebus.
Bejeebus. Is there one more you got?
I'm sure I have more, but I'm off the top of my head right now. I remember. Okay, Super Mario Brothers 3, Infinite One-Ups, bruh.
Nice.
When I learned that you could actually just, like, the more you jump on enemies, and this is actually even from Mario 1, but, like, you don't see it too often. Like, you know, basically, it was combos. Like, you get more than a 10-hit combo, and basically you just start getting infinite one-ups. And, like, you know, the most notorious one was in World 3, where you set up that little booby trap or whatever, where you have the shell, like, just going back and forth, and the stupid Lakuto or whatever is throwing all these little spiky things, they just instantly die, and it's like, you know, that's not the one-up sound. I'm just hyped up right now. I can't even do the one-up. How can I not do the one-up sound? Regardless. So, you know, it's like just discovering that was a whole mechanic in Mario, and then they find a way to pretty much put that in every single Mario game was like amazing. It's like you go out of your way to try to find out, like, how do I do it in this game? Like, I remember they had it like in the first level of Super Mario 3D World. It was like we looked that crap up. It was like setting it up in that when you go down that pipe. So I was like, wow, okay.
That was so satisfying.
Yep.
Beyond satisfying. And I got 2 more, but Grand Theft Auto 3.
Oh,
And it might be a little cliche, but you know, Grand Theft Auto 3 just figuring out that you don't have to go from mission to mission and and do the missions in order to get to the next thing. That you can actually just roam around this world for as long as you want. Like you could break into a place and get a car. So I think the car was called a Banshee, and it was that really sleek car that kind of looked like a small Corvette. Absolutely love that car, and I always knew how to get back to that dealership. I would break the glass, I would jump into that car, and of course I would get instant 2 stars, and I would just drive around until I lost the cops, and I would try to keep this car in good shape. And after that, I would just turn on the radio and I would just drive, and that level of freedom felt so amazing. It's like what game offers this? You know what I mean? And even just like hitting pedestrians. You know, of course, I didn't do that all the time because that's not my thing. But when you would hit a pedestrian, or they would jump in front of your car like dumbasses, and then you know they would have money fall out their pocket. You know, it's kind of realistic. So you go out, you get the money, then you go about your day. And then having the cops chase you, you got to lose the cops and stuff like that. It's just that level of freedom in that overworld. Even though that overworld, I learned, you know, now it's like really, really tiny. But back then, it felt ginormous. You know, it felt like the biggest world you had ever been in.
So look, straight up, I'm gonna tell you, I had never even finished the first mission in Grand Theft Auto 3. I pretty much played the entire game like what you said. Like, I remember at one point they told me to go down to this alley. I went to this alley. I might have started the quest or something like that. I did not finish that mission ever. I just was out there causing hell and mayhem. That's how I played Grand Theft Auto 3 for real, not even playing. Like, I don't even know what the story was about. I just freaking went out, got prostitutes, killed people. Look. I'm not a violent person, but I don't know. I just played that game like a freaking delinquent.
That's hilarious. I mean, nothing wrong with that. We all did that. I mean, one of my favorite things was finding those stunt jumps. That was one of my favorite things. I love those. I had a really great time doing that. Just driving around, either getting the Banshee or getting a freaking moped, especially in Vice City. Vice City to me was just like above and beyond everything I wanted in the game. Being an 80s kid, an 80s boy, yeah, that just made me happy.
Honestly, I didn't even care about what car it was. I just like stealing. I like going into the road, just literally opening somebody's car door, throwing them out the car, and taking their car while it's moving. I enjoyed doing that kind of shit. Look, I was just chaos incarnate. I don't know what was wrong with me. I guess I don't know. It was just fun. It's probably because they always started to do something about, oh, Grand Theft Auto is such a bad game. I'm gonna play it the worst possible way just to prove y'all and it make me bad. Because I'm a very law-abiding person for the most part.
Yeah, that damn game, it got some bad press, obviously, for many reasons, but it's okay. My last one is going to be Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, this will be good.
Well, not for that. Stop it. Not for that reason.
No, I wasn't gonna. No, I wasn't even thinking about that. I remember that time that you got me to kill that one dude. You basically murdered that dude.
So the aha moment for Baldur's Gate 3 was actually, the fact that your choices actually matter. And right before I played that game, I was saying to a lot of people, and I think I said it on the podcast a couple of times, like, I want a game where my choices legitimately matter and they affect the world.
Yeah,
it
absolutely did.
In that game, it does. There's little decisions that you make that last, like, that might come up like 20 hours later in the game, and you're like, because you did this is what's happening now.
You made me give that witch my eye, you jackass! You made me give that witch. Like, come on, you want to do it. I'll take a little more. I can't believe you made me do it. I still have to kill her. You made me give her my freaking eye.
That's funny. Oh, Lord, I've never seen you here. Oh, nice. Huh. Little hidden boss here.
Could be because it's New Game Plus, just saying. Maybe not. I don't know.
I think all this stuff is here initially, but of course you can't take it on the first playthrough. I could probably take them out now, but in New Game Plus, in this game, the monsters are actually scaled up.
Oh,
they have a lot more. Yep, they have a lot more hit points, and they're a lot more difficult to fight. It just took me like a good 7 minutes to beat that damn mime.
Look, bro, like I told you, like when I run into this one damn thing, it's like some freaking Jesus goat or something like that. This looks like it was like a half robot. I don't know what that thing was. I tried to fight about way more times than I should have, but that was a fruitless effort. I don't know why they even let me go to that area, because that thing was obviously out of my freaking jurisdiction.
This fool said Jesus goat.
Dude, you're in this area that looks like it's from the freaking Old Testament or something. I don't even know how to explain that area. It's all like rainbows and stuff. I'm like, what is going on?
It's all super pink.
Yes.
Yes, that area was it was short, but that fight was interesting. I actually beat him on the first try, which was nice.
Did you go there when I went there?
What do you mean?
I was like level 10.
I have no idea. That's almost at the beginning of the game.
Yes, I know. What I'm saying is, did you go there at the beginning of the game? If you told me that you could beat that thing at the beginning of the game, I would.
No. Because I went back after I beat the game and I started going to places where I didn't explore. But even post credits, there's still sections that you can't access that open up that are like still pretty difficult bosses. And there's one boss. There's one boss I still won't dare to fight. I'm actually scared to fight this fool. I know I'm not ready for it. So eventually I'll get there. But anyway, I do have one more. I'm gonna toss an extra one before we end this. Expedition 33. Like the fact that this game was made by 33 developers.
Wait, is that why it's called Expedition 33?
It's one of the reasons, yes. But of course, the story.
Well, I mean, obviously the story.
But
yes,
I mean,
they could have just made it Expedition 35 if they wanted to. Okay,
yes, that is it's directly influenced by the number of developers. But the fact that this game it modernizes RPGs. It's literally what every RPG needs to be from now on. And I saw a thing today, and I posted it that Square Enix has taken note from Expedition 33, and they're going to use some of this stuff in their next Final Fantasy game, which I'm very, very excited about.
You mean Final Fantasy 17 or Final Fantasy Rebirth Part 3?
I'm hoping 17. But anyway, the fact that this game pays homage in very slight ways, I won't give it away, I won't give them away, but pays homage to all the greats that came before it. And it's very subtle, but if you pay attention, you can find those little moments. But from a gameplay standpoint, just being able to know how to use those pictos properly and strategize not only for the regular enemies on the screen, but for the bosses. You know, it doesn't take much, but once you learn how to use those pictos properly, you become a beast. And then the parrying system, once you get that down, it is beyond satisfying. Like I just fought a mine and a couple of enemies, and just still, from start to finish, from the 50 hours I put into this game, plus 50 hours, I'm actually at 60 hours now, it's still satisfying to parry just regular enemies. And just those little aha moments throughout the game just make you feel like a freaking god when you hit it. And a lot of times you figure out stuff on accident. Like there was a lot of stuff from the character you're going to get next that I figured out on accident, and then I tried it again. I'm like, oh, you go from doing like 200 damage to having the right configuration to doing like 6,000 damage. It's such a game changer, and just that level of satisfaction was spread throughout this entire game. And I cannot wait for you to continue to play, so that you can.
I need to get my ass back in there. I got distracted around the beginning of the month because of Pokemon Go and Switch 2 and all sorts of stuff. So I need to get back into that.
Yeah, shooter, most definitely. And on that note, we're gonna end it. There's some honorable mentions here, but I think I might put those on the bonus points episode later. But in the meantime, it's great to be back. And until next time, gamers, keep on.
Leveled up.
Pain in my ass. We'll do it. We'll do it. All right, hold on. Keep on leveling up. That's 4 words. 4 words. Same amount of syllables.
Keep on leveling up.
Poor babies. I don't know math.